Hi everybody, this is Todd Baba Horowitz coming to you from my studio. I'm here with one of my coaches, Jerry Diegel. He's one of my main guys. He's been with the Average Joe program for about 18 months to 2 years here. And what we wanted to start doing is we wanted to give you an idea of who you were going to be dealing with and who you're going to be teaching from and what you're going to be learning. And the reason I chose to start out with Jerry has a great background for this business. Jerry spent the latter end of his career working for Goldman Sachs. Jerry, why don't you tell me a little bit about your Goldman Sachs career and what you did? You were a floor trader, you had it all, so give me a little bit of idea of what's going on and what you did.
Well, with Goldman Sachs, we were basically arbitrage traders where I traded in the S&P 100 options pit. We had several other traders trading in the S&P 500 and the future options at the Merck. And basically what we did was buy and sell volatility. Where we thought it was expensive, we sold it. Where we thought it was cheap, we bought it. Goldman, they spend a lot of money in developing algorithms and stuff like that. So they've got that part down to a science. And basically what we did, it worked out. We took strategic points where we thought were good levels to get in. We put our positions on, and then we managed them at that point.
Okay. So you had some great experience, with Goldman Sachs. Even before Goldman Sachs, you were involved with one of the biggest guys. You were involved with one of the originators. Well, right or wrong. Right, man ran for senator of Illinois.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, not very successfully, but he did do that.
If he'd have beat Barack Obama, they wouldn't be the president right now. So I mean, but that's how things are. But the guy's name is Blair Hull, Susquehanna Trading, the whole group. I mean, actually, in option terms, actually bigger than Goldman Sachs because they were the firm. Right. Tell me a little about your experience there. Similar experience, same.
Very similar. I started with Blair Hull way back in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. When I was hired there was only 3 employees, so I was like, and what happened was one of the original employees was getting married and going on vacation, and he needed some help in his trading. He lived in Piedmont, California, kept back and forth trading a little bit, vice versa. Well, what it turned out to, the 2 weeks that after I initiated started, he had his small positions on. The market started making a little move. We got aggressive, and we had probably one of the best 2 weeks he's had in a long time. And he's like, man, maybe you're the good luck charm that I needed. And I'm like, well, I don't know about that. And from that point on, we got up to as high as over 300 employees. Again, we developed our own software. We developed our own algorithms. We had our own style. Again, very similar to what Goldman was doing. Was we were volatility traders. It got to the point where in the late 90s that they wanted to do an IPO. And I think they were going to do like 25% of the shares at like $19. Goldman came in, looked at our software that we developed and our stock trading system that they had on the other side, and said that, we'll just pay $25 for the whole deal. And that's how we rolled into Goldman.
Great. Okay, so now you had a real successful career on the floor. Great floor trader. Right. I mean, obviously you and I trade together, so I know what you're about. And, one of the guys I said that I wanted to get as part of my team was you. Okay? We went through the program, so now you've been off the floor for a couple of years. Okay? And you're now teaching.
Right.
How are you finding the off the floor? I mean, we know there's some challenges with volatility. Okay, but overall, I mean, people are starting to really grasp onto what you're teaching. What are you thinking about it? Tell me a little bit about your experience.
Well, at first I wasn't sure about this teaching part because, I don't know, I just wasn't really sure how that would work out. I got to admit that I like it a lot better than I really initially thought. There's a lot of, there's a lot of my background that I think a lot of the investors out there or traders out there, depending on what they consider themselves as, that can take a lot of the concepts that I developed through Goldman and through Blair Hull and make them a very successful trader. And I've developed those. I'm starting to teach those. It's real rewarding when, and keep in mind, we're dealing with individuals that when we start are all different levels of education. Some of them have a very little amount of money to trade who are interested in options but are afraid of options because all you hear is, oh God, they can be so, so risky. Well, anything can be risky depending on how you deal with it. Here at Average Joe Options, we don't deal with it that way.
Right, we kind of keep everybody in a safe, modern, we use a lot of technology. We use a lot of spreading techniques. You know, spreading and using. You know, we never sell naked options as far as calls. We're not going to put people at that type of risk. So you know, you're now teaching, you're trading, you're having a good time. You know, so your other experience, you know, when you look at the market and go, wow, this is really something special. You know, you get that same rewarding feeling when you're helping those people, and they come back and go, you know what, God, it was great. I made, you know, I'm really making money now. It's really good for me.
It really is, because you know, I get on my weekly calls with my students, and it's like, Jerry, I'm really excited. You know, I always start, well, how'd the week go? What did you do? You know, we do stay in contact in between on emails and stuff. So you know, again, I always make myself available. I always want them any questions at all. There's never a question that's a silly question or a stupid question. You got to, if there's something you don't understand, something you don't know, you have to ask. We go through that. You know, and then they tell me that, you know, I put a position on in XYZ and I made $150, and you can just hear the excitement in their voices. And it's really rewarding to know, because it's like, you know, I mean, my job is to, you know, lead them in the right direction. They still have to make their decisions.
That's
you
right.
know, I do not make the decisions for them. So they have, you know, and some people it's a little easier. Others are, you know, get a little afraid at first. You know, that's why I always suggest maybe the first couple of weeks, you know, you can paper trade if you want to. That's the nice thing. You know, I use the platform Thinkorswim, which I think you also use too. Right. I think it's a great program. It's very well developed and everything. And if they're a little gun shy, they're not a little bit sure, I say, you know what, let's go on the paper side. Get your fat finger mistakes out of the way. You know, you forget this or you do this. You know, you can learn that way, because all in all, it comes down to managing those positions. You know, it's very, you know, one click and you're in the position. Now you got to deal with the gyrations of them up and down. Okay, so, you know, I'm from the school. I want them to go in and go ahead and click the real money, so I'll tell them to trade smaller. But either way, I get it. I have no problem with that. So now they're involved in your teaching, right? Right. Okay. Now, you know, one of the big things people always worry about is time. How am I going to have time to do all this stuff? Okay. Now, I'm from the school, and you tell me, you know, how it is. I think that you can do this business in 15, 20 minutes a day, setting up your position, setting up your trades. Once you learn it, you get them set up, you get ready to go. What's your view on that? What do you think? Oh, I think that's absolutely true. Once they're confident and they're ready to go, I mean, we have a watch list of stocks that they're concentrating on that is a very, you know, small list, but it has to meet certain requirements to meet our list. And you know, there are different variations of where some students are available to trade the market all day if they wanted to. Others who work during the day and have to come in at night and see what the market has done and then put their positions on in the morning. Either way is we keep it concise. We have specific rules. It's a proven program, and if you come home, you take a look at your stocks. You know you have certain levels in each stock of where you're interested and where you're not. If they get to that point, then you know that these are the ones I have to pay attention to first thing in the morning. So, I mean, certainly 15 minutes to a half hour, you can do that every night, and you're ready to go. And obviously, with the electronics these days,
you're right, right?
Button and you're in.
Now, you're a guy that, you know, you're a fun guy. You've been around for a while. You got kids in college. Right. Okay. Obviously, unfortunately, you had to take care of do something with your folks, so you had to be gone. But you were able to be away and still be able to work and look at the markets and take care of things, because you didn't have to be staring at the machine. No. Versus when we were on the floor together, you couldn't even go to the bathroom. You had to be there. You know,
many times you did.
You know what was the whole thing. So we look at the market. So if you were to recommend, you know, to one of your kids, like I taught my son the program because I thought it was important, and he's now 17 years old and he trades it. Okay. Is it something that you think it would be great for your kids to learn, a great skill set to have, so that, you know, instead of getting the same trouble that everybody else has gotten in over years, that they learn the skill set of how to manage their own money right from the beginning? I
mean, I have a perfect example. I have a son who's going to be a senior at the University of Iowa next year. And he's majoring in finance. Matter of fact, right now he's doing an internship out in Colorado at Victory Capital, who's involved in mutual funds and stuff. And through a couple of his classes and stuff, he's been really interested in options. And you know, we've begun to several times we have hour discussions on questions and stuff that you know, you can really see the enthusiasm and the interest, but he doesn't really understand it yet, and that's fine. You know, it might take a little time, but that's what we're here for.
Exactly.
You know,
so options though really pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
I mean, once you learn it, they're no different than stocks. I mean, And the leverage part, you know, the part that everybody's always worried about,
without question,
is if you don't take the leverage, you're not going to be exposed.
No.
If you buy an option for $3,
right,
your maximum risk is $300. You buy one.
Why trade stock and, you know, spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 when you can, like you said, you can do our process where you buy an at-the-money call for $200, $300. Worst case scenario, stock goes down $10. All I can possibly lose is that $3. I like to be in a position where I know what the worst case scenario is, and in most cases, that obviously that never happens. But through using stops, we even can limit it to much farther than that.
So we're always in the game. We always know what's going on. So you and I both agree that the coaching mentoring program is great and that people should try it because it's a reason to make you better.
It's a definite reason to make you better.
You want to be successful in this business, okay? You have to learn the business the way that it's meant to be traded. We have a program that has designed specific rules that you follow. Are you going to make money in every trade? Absolutely not. It's not an automatic. This is not a secret sauce.
Quick,
okay? No. This is a learn how to adjust, but instead of being a mutual fund that they're celebrating gains and charging you billions in fees, it's a system where you can actually go out and make the money. So Jerry, you know, just to sum up here, you've been doing this for a while. You love the teaching part of it. You had a lot of experience. If you could have done this from the beginning, would you have done this and started out as a off-the-floor trader and teaching people this business?
Yeah, I have my free time. Again, I can spend a half hour or 20 minutes. I can spend 2 hours in a day if I want to. I can spend all day, but I have the freedom to be able to do that. And that through the Adam Mesh program and the Average Joe options is what we're going to teach you. Number one, and then most importantly, is the discipline part of it. That is what really knocks the sheets off of this here, is you've got to be, especially in this market where we've got Europe and all these outside factors that can change everything so quickly, you know, discipline, defined risk, knowing your price points when you're going to get in, and if you stick to that program, again, every trade's not going to work out. We know that. But we can survive in this business we have calculated risk points where when we get in, if we're wrong, we lose this. But when things work out and they go the way we think they're going to go, we adjust our stops, we lock in profits, we let the stocks run, and that's how we can be successful.
And that's great. And so I'm here. This is Jerry Diegel, veteran of Goldman Sachs, Susquehanna or Blair Hull. Worked with the Average Joe options for about 2 years now. Great teacher, great trader, great friend. Look him up, check him out. I'm Todd Horowitz from the Average Joe Trading Group, or Todd Bubba Horowitz. Thanks for checking us out. We look forward to seeing you on the other side. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks.